Okay, it's Friday, July 9th, 2021, and it's time for Farm Talk Friday here at the Green Wave House. And as you can tell, we might be talking about the chicks.
Yes. So, do you want to start with the first story?
Is that the hawk or what is
It's
it?
the hawk
Oh,
story.
well, okay, we were coming home from dinner the other night, getting ready to put the chicks away. Every night we put them into their to the coop
The
where
roost.
they roost and where they lay the eggs. They're too young to be doing that right now, but and anyway, we came home. It wasn't quite dark yet. We saw
It
this.
was after lunch.
Oh, after lunch, we saw this giant hawk just sitting outside of the chicken tractor, watching the girls, envisioning a delicious lunch. So we had to chase the hawk away.
Yes, but so we were walking up and we saw at least one of the chicks laying flat, its neck stretched out, and it looked like a lifeless body. And I was really sad. I didn't think we were gonna lose a chick so soon. I told Ken, I'm like, I don't know, it looks kind of lifeless, and he agreed with me, and he didn't see any of the other ones, so he just assumed they were all dead.
I thought they were all dead or eaten.
So I went in and I went to pick up the dead chick, and it came back to life, but not super rapidly. Anyway, so it came back to life, and then the other ones were all playing dead too, and so I had to kind of get them up. Usually they just kind of, get really chirpy when you go in there into their home, and they were super scared, but we saved them from that
And then-
particular.
Yes. And then after that, before we get to our big story,
Yeah.
I had a revelation during the week, and it's in regard to feeding the chicks and chicken feed in general. Because we've been feeding these little girls the finest organic homemade feed. We've been buying the Bob's Red Mill organic oats, and all this stuff. So, and I started thinking, man, this is not the permaculture way. This doesn't make any sense, So I read up on it, and, because clearly chickens have been around and laying eggs much longer than chicken feed has existed. So when they get bigger, we're gonna have a new plan. We're gonna compost for the chickens. So we're gonna have worms and larvae
And food scraps.
and flies and stuff. Anyway, we're gonna give them a big pile of compost to work on, so they can scratch through it and forage through it. And then also we're going to start growing some grains that they can eat as well. So we'll probably grow some sorghum or maybe a couple of other things.
Maybe a little bit of corn.
And maybe some corn, actually, yes. So we're excited about that.
Right now we've been feeding them, in addition to the corn, freekeh. Freekeh is a cool grain. But hard to find here.
Yeah.
And expensive.
Freekeh is an ancient grain. It's basically green wheat.
Yeah.
So when did this all happen?
Well, let's go back to the other story just real quick. I want
Okay.
to talk about that owl. So I think in some other Farm Talk Friday, hi Debbie, we were maybe talking about how we have these bandito birds. They're yellow, they're really beautiful, and then they have like a black stripe around their eyes, so they look like bandits. And they're really curious about our deck. For some reason, they must like fly in and check it out, and they sit on every piece of furniture and they poop all over the deck.
Well, they look at themselves.
Oh, is that what they
in
do?
the glass?
Oh.
And they think it's probably somebody else, like another one of theirs.
Okay. So anyway, we built this house that's perfect for birds' narcissism and whatever that is. And so they poop all over the deck, and Ken was really trying to figure out some way that we could distract them and not have them come in. And he bought these like I don't know, reflective spinner things, and those don't work, and these weird eye things, and those don't work. And then I was like, we have to get the owl. The owl's gonna work. And we had to like talk somebody into bringing it down from the States, and it was just, we got the owl, and it kind of worked. It seemed like it did for about a week.
It's a plastic, lifelike,
Bobblehead.
full-size owl, and his head rotates like this.
No, it just bobbles.
Okay.
But anyway, so it wasn't doing anything. These bandito birds have basically like not flown and sat on top of the head, but they've like sat right next to the owl. So with that hawk visiting the chicks, I thought like a good idea would be to put the owl out by the chicks instead, because from up above, I know they have like supervision, but you know, they would see something and maybe not know that it wasn't a real predatory bird. So seems to be working.
Seems to be working. Okay,
so now
this brings us to last night, as we were going.
Caroline Palmer.
As we were going to put the chicks up for the night. So we have a routine. Normally Janine goes inside and collects them, and I kind of help just guiding them up the ladder. And we got them all in, and then the next step is that we have a little pulley and a little rubber rope, and we pull the ladder up. And unfortunately, I didn't check to make sure everything was all clear when I pulled up the ladder, and this little girl right here had
This is Shiro.
her middle claw, her middle toe, right in between, and I pinched it when the ladder came up, and
pinching for a little chick is like nearly severing its toe.
yeah, so we looked, and her middle toe was all bloody, and her toenail claw was hanging off to the side, and she was scratching herself with her toe on her neck, and then her neck and head was all bloody from that, and it was just a disaster, and I felt horrible. I was nauseous, but then Janine went into action.
Yes. And so I instinctively knew to pull the chick and bring it into the house and separate it from her sisters. And then we needed to treat her. And, you know, Ken and I have both volunteered at Wild Sun, years ago. But
Wild Sun Animal Rescue Center.
yeah, which is here, and normally they're not taking in chickens, but little baby monkeys, and you know, so I'm like, we can do this. And we called them, of course, for any tips, and I still need to try and get a hold of Natasha. Apparently might have some extra advice. But I went to work, and I used some colloidal silver, some what's the tinctura called? The tinctura, like iodine.
Yodo.
Yeah,
Iodine.
so iodine, because I thought it would like kind of blend with her skin and mask the blood a little bit. Plus, you know, it's super antiseptic. She didn't like that one. The colloidal silver is much more gentle. And then we went to work on,
You did vinegar and aloe vera.
Yeah, I used aloe vera and vinegar, all these different kind of natural sprays, and then I thought that we needed to wrap it, and I made this elaborate cast for her, and we were probably in surgery for a good hour.
Yeah, like an hour.
Like this was the third attempt. The best attempt, I thought. There's actually like a little piece of cardboard. I cut a piece of cardboard. And what's really cute is Kim thought all we needed was a little tiny splint, like the size of a toothpick. And I'm like, I can't wrap that. Like, I can barely see. And she's struggling. And so I thought, this is the one. This is the way to go. And we wrapped it up, and we felt really good after an hour, our third attempt. And like within 5 minutes, this came off. So we ended up going to this product called New Skin. And I knew it was gonna really hurt. It's kind of like super glue.
Yeah, but by this time the bleeding had stopped, which was what we were looking for.
Stopped-ish. Yeah. So anyway, we poured that on her basically, and she's totally maimed. Her little toe is like at an angle now. It's completely unnatural.
Toenails at an angle, yeah.
Which is like, yeah, like the tip of her toe, and so she, I don't know if you guys can see, but the black is blood, and she has such a delicate neck. I did clean some of it off, but like I didn't want to like struggle with her just to clean her and then her like neck snapped. So, you know, she has a look about her, and I tried to paint her head today with pitaya, which is dragon fruit, which the purple dragon fruit is really pretty. It doesn't dry nice though, so I don't know if I need to brush her hair. But I think when it dries, it'll have a nice purple sheen. And she's, yeah.
Yeah, and we were Googling all the way along,
You afterwards.
Well, in the middle, once we got the New Skin on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the good news is we learned that this happens a lot to chickens, and that eventually her little toenail will come off, but then she'll grow a new one, and she should be just fine.
Right. So that's what I was hoping, because, you know, they're kind of closely related to reptiles. I don't know how close, but, you know, like geckos, and other lizards can lose their tail and they grow back. I'm like, maybe her toe will grow back. Poor thing. So, yeah. So she was always like kind of the charger. And I don't know if this is going to make her hopefully just kind of not go forward so quickly. But right now we're just trying to coddle her, and she likes to be on my arm or on my chest. And obviously I can't really work that way. So I was thinking today, I'm like, well, you know what would be helpful is if I was like one of those cigarette girls, you know, and they have like the trays and then, you know, something that wraps around. I'm like, that would work. But I don't have one of those. I don't have a costume that's a cigarette girl from the 1920s or 30s or whenever that was happening. But we had this little square thing, and I've been holding it close to my heart, and that seems to calm her down. So anyway, that's pretty much our update.
Prognosis is good.
Yeah. And so I wanted to say hi to Jane and Hope. I see that you joined. Thanks for joining in. Little Shiro here. She's quite a cutie. And yeah, she's kind of doing a flamingo thing as well, because obviously it hurts. So she can walk on it, and then she'll pull up her leg like a little baby bloody flamingo. And I think we're gonna probably baby her for at least another day, and then I'll try her out with her sisters on Sunday, see how that goes. So. And I'm wearing this outfit today because my friend Sarah Lynn from Vimana Fusion, she's a belly dance instructor. She's a beautiful dancer, and she's doing a challenge. And so I was hoping that I would be able to finally jump in on day 8 and do some stuff, but it hasn't quite worked out that way today. We had some visitors. Kitty Bunny and Toby came by, and I've been taking care of Shiro, so. Anything else, baby?
That's it. Until next week.
Okay. Sending everyone lots of love. Ciao.
Bye-bye.